Hello and welcome to Warcraft Daily for today, the 21st of September 2013. Now today's news is pretty much going to be very short, and it's really just me talking about some of the recent blue posts and stuff. The reason for that is because I'm gone for most of the day. So Ghostcrawler said that he missed Night Elves looking fierce and a little scary. If you ever played Warcraft, you'll remember Night Elves were xenophobic, they were scary, they were really brutal and cutthroat. And right now, their WoW animations, especially for females, betray that. Like, the females, honestly, they do look like a bunch of kind of airheads, I guess. They're, bouncing. It's weird. Like, they do this weird boob shake, which I thought was so out of character for a night elf. It's so stupid. So yeah, good. Hopefully they will change this when they update the character models, and actually having them look like proper night elves, which were fierce. They were kind of scary looking, they were the scary people in the forest who shot arrows at you and were utterly merciless. They also had big curved blades, which are awesome. So yeah, there you go. Now, they also said that they are apparently not bothered by the 5% troll ratio. That means they do 5% more damage to beasts. Now, the thing is, this was active to 1/3 of the Throne of Thunder bosses, which is, in my opinion, this is one of the... It's absurd. To just get 5% free damage for doing nothing just because you play a troll is ridiculous. And honestly, when class balance is the kind of thing where people will moan about it if it's more than 5% or it's 5%, just have that baked into a racial that applies to all classes, it's silly. It's so damn silly. Now, he does agree that one of the problems is the active abilities of the trolls and orcs, because they're just macroed in, so they're not useful. They're not useful, I mean, they're not really, I guess they're not a choice. So, yeah, I mean, what the hell do you do? Ghostcrawler basically said they don't have a good solution for it. I don't know, it kind of pisses me off. Maybe if they made the troll racial not work in raid bosses, they have been known to do stuff like that in the past, and the trolls will have their on-use, cooldown thingy anyway, but I just think 5%'s too much. Free damage, it's too much. So, yeah, there's a problem. Now, there's also a post in the forums, which I thought was pretty interesting, about catch-up mechanics and how they kind of mess up people's attachment to gear and that kind of thing, and there was a lot of discussion, but basically one of the blues jumped in and said that, yeah, one of the things is it does reduce people's attachment to the older gear, but on the other hand, it means the time isn't much of a factor, and by that they just mean that there's not as much time needed to grind out all the old content and stuff, and that since the gear is 496, it doesn't exactly devalue your 5.2 gear or 5.3 stuff a massive amount, and that is definitely true. It's fair enough. You'll still need to do probably a little bit of Throne of Thunder to get yourself into the Siege of Orgrimmar. But still, I think it's interesting. Like, if you think back to, say, the days of Burning Crusade. Well, in BC, people would still be running Karazhan towards the end of the expansion to get gear, and it was a very interesting thing, because every single tier of that expansion was actively being raided, pretty much as long as they were there. And I guess what you had is that the later tiers, because they were harder to get into, in each subsequent tier you kind of lost a certain percentage of the raiders because they couldn't progress far enough. So I guess that was there was a bit of a, would you need to even say it's poetic, which is probably why it resonates so well with people, that you go through all this work and you kind of start at the bottom, work your way to the top in terms of gear. Now the problem with that thing is that a lot of people just don't see the end content, and that's even at the intended difficulty. So honestly, I'm happy enough with the way they do things now. So yeah, I don't know, I don't see a humongous problem with the way things are, and honestly I think the Timeless Isle is fine. And a lot of people this expansion have been complaining about gearing up alts and stuff, and the Isle does make that way easier, perhaps too easy, but it's hard. I mean, we are at that late stage of the expansion where people are going to be leveling characters. They're going to want new alts. I mean, hell, the amount of gear that I have, I can probably, because I'm a hunter, and I don't need any of my Timeless Mail caches, I could probably gear about 17 shamans at the minute, so yeah, maybe I'll just go and level up 17 shamans when I'm bored. Anyway, with that, I'm afraid I will have to run along because I'm busy and I have things to do, so thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.